Hi everyone, we're back again with some more Wellbeing Week recordings, and today's guest is Barbara Wilson, the director of the organisation Working with Cancer. So welcome Barbara, thanks for doing this quick recording.
My pleasure.
So we're just going to talk a little bit about some guidelines around menopause. Menopause is our main subject of the Wellbeing Week, so I thought we'd just start with that. So my first question is, could you confirm the guidelines for anyone going through the menopause when it comes to the workplace?
Okay, well, there's a distinction here between those who have cancer and going through the
Yes, sorry,
menopause.
yes. I suppose there will be, yes, those with cancer and those with menopause.
Yeah. So those with menopause, that there are at the moment, it's not under the Equality Act what they call a protected characteristic. So
Okay.
unfortunately,
Okay.
although you can get support from your work, it's kind of down to them.
Right, okay.
Unfortunately,
So that's
so
quite a big difference then, isn't it? That's massive.
huge, massive. Okay, because and different companies, big organizations these days, because I hate to say it, because menopause is popular and in the news,
Yeah.
and there are menopause groups being set up at some very big companies, then people are getting some support, but there is no requirement in any way, shape or form for an organization to support anyone if they've just got the menopause.
Yeah.
If you have cancer, it's a totally different issue because typically people are either put into menopause as a result of cancer, or their menopause affects, or the impact of menopause is heightened by cancer treatment,
Okay.
either by the treatment or by the medication they put you on. And because it's connected with cancer, and cancer is what's called a protected characteristic under the 2010 Equality Act or the Disability Discrimination Act in Northern Ireland,
Right.
because of that, you're entitled to what are called reasonable adjustments. So, and those can be many and various depending on what's practical. So you can ask for things like physical things like a fan or sitting near a window, and you can ask for time off, you could ask for working from home, the whole variety of things. And that's purely because cancer is a protected characteristic and menopausal symptoms will be heightened by cancer.
Okay.
So you get the
Um,
benefit of that protection.
okay, so they're you're sort of in two very different situations depending on what has started the menopause for you, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was probably going to be one of my next questions then. Should the workplace be making reasonable adjustments for people, or I guess they're ruled by the laws then, depending on your own personal situation?
Yeah. I mean, what I would say is even if your menopause began before your cancer,
Yeah.
typically, normally the symptoms of the menopause are made worse by cancer or cancer treatment, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore you could link the two and ask for reasonable adjustments.
Okay.
But I think everyone's circumstances are different, but basically if you've had a cancer diagnosis of any shape or form and you've got menopausal symptoms, then I would as an employee I would do one's best to basically ask for adjustments on the basis you've had cancer, and
Yeah.
those adjustments therefore will follow, because you're entitled to them legally.
Okay. Okay. And I suppose the other thing I'd sort of wondered was, is menopause a recognised illness in the workplace, or is it becoming more of a recognised thing, or as you said earlier, is it because it's popular in the media, or lots of different reasons?
Yeah, I'm afraid to say, there are lots of things that become fashionable. Is that the appropriate phrase? So there was a period where mindfulness, resilience, I mean they're all key things,
Yeah.
but suddenly HR departments discover them
Yeah.
and companies discover them, and suddenly they become the topic of the week.
Yeah.
There was one client I had who told me, we did cancer last year, this year we're doing mental health. Okay, so unfortunately organizations tend to take a fairly kind of tick box approach to these things. I
Yeah.
think more and more companies though are recognizing that menopause is a significant issue for half of their working population, and actually there are men, we mustn't forget there are men who have hormone treatment because
Yeah.
of their cancer, particularly prostate cancer,
Yeah.
who will go through a menopause and have
Yeah.
significant problems because of that. So I think more and more companies are doing something because either because they want to or because it's fashionable or for a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
But there is no requirement for them to treat menopause as an illness or to
Yeah.
see it as an illness. It's really down to the way the organization chooses to treat it.
Yeah, so I guess that's the big thing. I mean, I know for me, menopause has affected me in a lot of ways, and certainly mine was from the onset of cancer, most definitely. But I think I struggle more with menopause symptoms now than I do with my cancer side of things. So I know, as someone who's still in the workplace, that could be an issue if I didn't have an employer who, you know, recognised that and was
Yeah.
helpful and was making those adjustments. So it must be difficult if you're in that situation and maybe not getting the help that you would like, or
It can be very
need.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it as well, you know, and you know, because I'd been on HRT for years, you know, came off it, and then the meds made it, I was on for breast cancer, made it worse. So, you know, sitting in board meetings having a hot flush is
Yes.
not much fun, you know, because you're
No.
sweating and you're red and you're, you know, I was working in an industry full of men, you know, I
Yes.
was the only
Yeah.
woman in the room, and you kind of feel vulnerable,
Yeah.
uncomfortable,
Absolutely.
awkward,
Yeah.
embarrassed. So it's grim, but you know,
Yeah.
as I said, unfortunately, many organizations aren't prepared to do I mean, you know, individual managers may be supportive,
Yes.
but there are
Yeah.
still many organizations who have no policy on menopause.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll talk about this lots more during our actual Wellbeing Week, where we'll have some guests who I'm sure are going through all of these things and more. So I'm really looking forward to that chat. But I just wanted to say thank you for
My
joining
pleasure.
me this morning to talk about the basics at the moment. And I look forward to the chat in more detail later.
Thank you very much. Lovely talking to you.
You
All the
too.
best.
Thank you.
Bye.